its own relationships around the rest of the world. I want us to trade with Europe, but to open ourselves up, especially to a group of countries. There are 53 of them in this club. There are 2.2 billion people living in this club. They speak English, they have common law, they have similar contract law, and they come and stand and fight beside us when we're in trouble. And the sooner we re-engage with a broader Commonwealth, the better as a nation the world will be. This referendum is about one simple basic point. And you can hear George Osborne telling us it could cost us 6% of GDP. And I will tell you that EU membership is costing us today 4% of GDP. But in the end, this is not about economic forecasts. In the end, this is about something much simpler and much more basic. In the end, this is about, do you wish us to be a self-governing, democratic, independent nation, or part of a bigger political union in which at best we have an 8% say? This is the word we used to use was sovereignty. It's about self-government. It's about identity. It's about whether we are a proper nation or not. And I believe, for good or bad, we must and we should honour and respect those that went before us, and twice in the 20th century. I believe that democratic self-government is better than being ruled by a bunch of unelected old men in Brussels whose names we don't know. Although, you know, to be fair, I've done my bit to try and make one or two of them more famous than they were. But this is about us governing our country. It's about us controlling our borders. It's about us being the masters of our own destiny, charting our own course and recognising that if a British government makes a Horlicks of it, we can get rid of them and replace them with somebody else. That is what this referendum is all about. And against this endless tide of negativity, we need to be upbeat. We need to be positive. We need to be saying, we want our country back. We want our country back. Say it with me. We want our country back. And we're going to get it. And June the 23rd is going to be Independence Day. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a incredible moment. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Now, one of the great features that I talked about earlier of these meetings that we've been putting on with Peter in the chair right across the country is the remarkable diversity of political view we've managed to put together to share one platform. You know, we've worked with people from the left, the centre and the right. And tonight, our next guest is somebody who, in a way, comes from that establishment that I was just railing against. and yet, he's had the courage.
Absolutely.
He's had the courage. He's had the foresight. He's had the integrity. He's had the belief in this nation, its people, and its democracy. To go against the grain, to campaign for Britain to leave the European Union, and even more importantly, to show that he wants to bring together all the different elements of the Eurosceptic family so we can show the other side and the outside world that we will cast aside any differences that have existed in the past. And goodness me, with this next man, I've had many differences, and he with me, but none of that matters compared with governing our own country. And we are indeed, on this Go platform, pleased, proud and privileged to have that man of principle next up on this stage. Will you please welcome the Leader of the House of Commons, the Member of Cabinet, the Right Honourable Chris Grayling.
I'm sure you want to leave the European Union. I was out in the Midlands yesterday in a number of different places and getting a pretty consistent message. People coming up to me saying, we want to leave. I don't for a moment think that President Obama would tolerate a situation where the United States gave away as much of its sovereignty as we have to Brussels. It's inconceivable. If Americans truly knew how much of our national sovereignty now resided in Brussels, they would never argue that we should stay. I think it's really actually important that on both sides of the argument, we are seen not to use inappropriate amounts of public money. The public will not thank us if they see us wasting public money as part of the debate process.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome please Chris Grayling.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is great to be here in Stoke and great to see so many of you here tonight. And always an immense challenge to follow such a barnstorming speech as the one you've just heard. But look, actually, I'm here with a particular purpose, because whilst it's great to see you all here tonight, and I wanted to say a big thank you to all of you who have been involved in the campaign so far, actually there's work for all of us to do. Because we have just over 10 weeks until polling day, and every single person in this room can play a part in helping us win that battle. And what I want to do tonight is I want to set out for you 4 areas where I think we need to take back control of our country. We need to take back control of our trade. We need to take back control of our borders. We need to take back control of the £350 million a week that the European Union costs us. Yeah. And we need to take back control of our democracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before I start on those, I just want to say a quick word about tonight's event. I stand here as the person who chairs the contact group of Vote Leave, and I see some red t-shirts in the audience tonight, but I stand here tonight alongside those in green ties, and I say to you now that I am immensely grateful to everyone in the Go movement who's been involved in the work so far and the work they're going to do in the future. We stand here as groups side by side. We will work together in a common cause to win the referendum on June the 23rd. And about Nigel too, as he said, we have campaigned vigorously against each other in the past. I have tramped the streets to try and stop UKIP candidates being elected. But tonight, there is no party. This is a referendum about people and not party. And I stand here tonight alongside Nigel with common cause to go ahead and win on June the 23rd. And actually, though she's had to get her train, it's great to make common cause with Kate again, because just over a decade ago, from entirely different parts of the political spectrum, we also campaigned against the European Union, against the intrusion of the European Union into our health food stores and their determination to create a Euro vitamin pill. And it's great to be reunited with Kate in the same campaign all over again. But ladies and gentlemen, the challenge that lies ahead of us, and I say every single one of you in this room has a job to do. Because I suspect everyone has a colleague, a friend, a family member who has not yet made their mind up, who has not yet decided that we need to leave on the 23rd of June. And so every one of you has a job to do to win that argument. And what I need to do tonight, what I want to do tonight, is set out for you some of the things you need to be saying to them, why they need to be with us in that referendum vote in 2 months' time. We need to take back control of our trade, and it's been much in the news today with the document from the Treasury. And you're going to hear lots of stories about how we won't be able to trade with the European Union, how we'll lose business if we leave the European Union. And ladies and gentlemen, the reality is very straightforward. They buy more from us then we buy from them.
Yes.
And the reality is, there is no way, particularly in a French election year and a German election year. I was on the Andrew Marr show yesterday after an interview with the French economics minister, who was making all kinds of noises about what would happen to Britain if we leave.
Yeah.
But does anybody seriously think, in a year's time, he is going to be saying to the French farmers, and you know what they're like, the moment there's a hint of trouble, they park their tractors outside the government buildings, they set burning hay bales on the motorways, saying to them, you can't sell your cheese in Britain anymore. It's not going to happen.
No.
The German car makers in Bavaria